Hey everyone, I'm Deanna Chapman. Today I want to talk about the connection between Gerald's Game and Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. These two books came out one right after the other, and for those of you who don't know, I host a Stephen King podcast called Chat Cemetery. I'll have a link to that in the show notes if you want to check it out. But what I found interesting about these two books was the fact that this eclipse that happens connects the two of them, and it was actually supposed to be part of a larger story called In the Path of the Eclipse. So that only makes me think that King had plans to maybe tie in some other stories, maybe bring in other characters who had some horrible or weird things happen to them during the eclipse. So in the case of Gerald's Game, while the story doesn't take place during the time of the eclipse, Jessie, the main character who is handcuffed to a bed and struggling because her husband who handcuffed her to the bed is now dead, she has this flashback while she's going through this mental and physical struggle to a time when she was a girl and she was watching the eclipse with her father, and he began touching her inappropriately. Now, the way that this connects to Dolores Claiborne is that while Dolores and her husband Joe are watching the eclipse, Dolores gets this connection going between her and Jessie, but because she gets distracted, all she gets out of it is that Jessie is in danger and she doesn't know how or why or what to do about it, really, because she's dealing with her own problems. She finds out that her husband has been inappropriate with their daughter, so you have these parallel storylines that are happening to these girls at the same time, but the eclipse is what connects the two stories together, and it's unfortunate that, like I said, we won't know what could have been with the larger story, but I thought this was just a quick, interesting connection to touch on. Obviously, it's not as big as something like The Dark Tower and how that connects to so many different novels, and speaking of, I have a quick correction from my Dark Tower reading order video, which if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out on my channel, but I did not include it in my reading list, and my thinking behind that was because it is more of a horror novel than a fantasy novel. Maybe not everyone would want to read it if they're only interested in the Dark Tower type of books, and a lot of people don't like clowns, so there's definitely a lot of horrific things going on in it that might not be appealing to fans who don't want to read King's strictly horror novels or novels that lean more towards the horror genre. And I think if you're up for another 1100 pages and want to get that Dark Tower connection that is in there, that is definitely something you'll want to add to your list as well. But I don't think it's 100% crucial that you read that in order to understand the Dark Tower story as a whole. I know that it's a lot for a lot of people to read books that are over 1,000 pages long, so I don't expect everyone to want to do that. But if you enjoyed this video of this quick Stephen King connection, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know what you think in the comments, and you can follow me on socials. There will be links in the description to those, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.